Transition Radio TV brought to you by thebreastformstore.com. They have everything you could possibly need for your transgender or cross-dressing needs. Visit their website at www.breastformstore.com and tell them Transition Radio sent you.
The following ingredients include a look behind the scenes. Cook uncovered until hot. Add grooves to taste.
I would like, if I may, to take you on a strange journey.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl.
The accident was over a year ago. A second woman has been elected president. A 12th planet has been named in the solar system. The last wild polar bear has died. I slept through it all. I was here for my waking. He called it a beginning. He said it was good. I think he may have thought that anything I did was good.
Welcome to Transition Radio, live from Hollywood, Florida, with your host and hostess, Mark Angelo and Jessica Lynn Cummings. Show for trans folks by trans folks, here to let your voice be heard. Well, hello and welcome to another edition of Transition TV. This is show number 15. We have a very special guest today, Mr. Charles Thomy. We're a little bit under the weather, so if we cough, a hack, or sneeze, or whatever, it's because we've got a little bit of a sinus infection. I don't even think it's the flu.
If I sound like James Earl Jones after swallowing a broken beer bottle, then you'll know why.
It's that time of year. At least we're lucky we're not being snowed in like I know a lot of you guys are up north with, what is it, Nemo?
Nemo.
Is the name of the storm. We feel for you.
Hey,
and,
that was a Pixar cartoon.
yeah,
Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo. But
We're not looking for him.
We feel for you and hope that you're safe and sound and trying to stay warm.
Absolutely.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Charles. Charles Thomy, I'm sorry, I keep wanting to call him Tommy, it's a Cuban in me, but Charles Thomy is a 28-year-old trans man, originally from Jacksonville, Florida. After a 3-year stay in San Francisco Bay Area, he is now about to be one of Portland, Oregon's newest residents. Charles has been vlogging and documenting his transition on YouTube since May of 2006.
And his videos have been shown at several universities as well as the Sparkle Transgender Festival in the UK. An avid skateboarder and cyclist, he works in digital media and is currently writing a book about his transition.
Be a part of an institution, lead the way in a revolution, wear a wig and a permanent smile. Be a part of a celebration, make the plan or the cancellation, quick decisions and let's change our minds. Well, there's people out there, and there's people we are, we're just faces from different places, drinking juice from mason jars. I'm on a mission responsible, say your goodbyes. Be a father of no relation, be a symbol for procreation, strike a match and a sure to be fired. Be a part of your situation, blame yourself for your frustration, take a hold till you lose your desire. Well, there's people out there, but there's people we are, we're just names playing different games, drinking coke and eating candy bars. I'm on a chance if you want to survive. You do want to survive, don't you? We'll be the talk of a conversation. You're a superstar out of isolation. Get the keys, it's your turn to drive. But there's people out there, but it's people we are. Just voices with different choices. Smoking dope and rocking out guitar. I'm on a mission responsible. Say your goodbye. Well, I'm finding anything's possible. Closing your Well, I'll put it all to rest and all the shit is off my chest. And every time I turn around, I don't see trees falling down into something that we can buy. Well, I'm sure you would agree, although you seem to fight with me. But there's a situation here that doesn't seem to want to disappear into nothing. No, it won't go away. And we must do something. Now you see that we can't go along. 'Cause I can see it in the swollen eyes of the storytellers that they're wrong. And every single word that they write. And that's what I'm gonna fight to survive. And it's my only desire to elevate the spirit and cultivate the higher rhythms and rhymes. Living is blind and an activate reality if it's trapped up in your mind. Freedom!
So now, welcome to the show, Mr. Charles Thomy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on your show. It's
Hey,
awesome to be
Charles,
here.
Pleasure,
Thank
pleasure
you
to
for
have
being
you.
here.
We've actually interacted before on YouTube. You and I probably started our YouTube channel around the same time, 2006. It was a great way to communicate, support system, seeing what other trans guys do, what we look like, what we're going through, and it's a beautiful thing. I'm very thankful to YouTube. When I came out in 2003, there wasn't a lot of YouTube videos, and then all of a sudden there was this major influx of YouTube videos with transgender males and females. So very, very
Yes,
thankful.
definitely. It's really been a
I
great tool.
also-
Like even in 2005, I guess I started a couple years after you. Like I was on LiveJournal at first, and just reading people's journals and looking at pictures and just, and then I started just, making a couple videos to put on my LiveJournal, and they started getting views on YouTube, and I was like, oh, like people are watching this. How do they even find it? And then, I'd find some other people, and then it's gone from just, a handful of bloggers to just, thousands of people sharing their lives and stories, and it's amazing to see. And I can't even imagine transitioning before the internet, and just it's amazing the community and connection that it fosters and helps create. So it's really awesome.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the reasons Jessica and I created this baby Transgender Radio, which started off as a radio, and then we came in with Joe and Not Straight TV, because we're building a library of the different voices of trans people. Some of them are very famous, and some
Right.
are just, we want everybody's voice to be heard. And,
Yeah, exactly. We all have a different story to tell. We're not all the same, and I really like the kind of do-it-yourself, culture of YouTube and this show, and trans people for trans people. I think that's awesome. And
yeah,
it's
because-
good. It's good to hear the little voices too, as well as the people you see on TV or whatnot. Or who was on Oprah whenever Oprah was still on. So yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And it's a great thing, because in the future, there's going to be a place for people to go in and hear the different voices, different age groups. We've even interviewed parents of transgender children and things like that. So it's a very good media that we've created. And anyway, we want to thank you for being on the show.
Absolutely.
And we're going to go ahead with the Q&A portion of the show. And if you chatters out there have a question for Charles, please type it in, and we'll fit it in there.
Yes.
Okay.
So Charles, how was it growing up in Jacksonville, Florida, and knowing you were different from everyone else?
Well, I moved to Florida when I was 8 from South Carolina, and as much as I gripe about being here and on the West Coast, I think if I was still in South Carolina, I wouldn't even found out about transition. So I always felt like an outsider. I was pretty aware of my gender at a young age, but I was just kind of a weirdo in general. So I kind of embraced that to kind of, it's maybe a coping mechanism as a young middle schooler or high schooler. But I just kind of always followed my own path, heard my own drummer, and just kind of embraced that. And then the gender stuff really started to hit hard. Like about, well, high school definitely, but I was kind of confused with the sexuality. Like, am I a lesbian? I like girls, but yet I want to be their boyfriend. So, the sexuality thing, like I wasn't aware of trans people really then. And then college, suddenly I heard transgender was something. So, I don't know. I've always just been kind of different and tried to just kind of embrace that and, and help keep it from isolating me, because it's such a tough thing to go through. And I often kept those feelings, I felt, shameful. Like, why do I feel this way? So those gender things I kind of kept to myself. It was just like, oh, I'll just do this, this girl drummer and take pride in that and, like embrace it, but do something masculine, but still be a girl. Like, I don't know. So it's hard here too, because there's not much of a gay community. And going to San Francisco suddenly like opened my eyes. And I was like, wow, if I had been 16 in San Francisco, my life might have been a lot different. But it was definitely hard, and I felt isolated in a lot of ways, but I just kind of tried to focus on other areas and, embrace that and stuff. So I don't know, but there were some very painful years, so I think we all experienced that. So I don't know, just embrace the outsider, and just I've always kind of been the other, even if it wasn't gender. So I just kind of like, well, I kind of resigned myself to that, and that's how it's going to be. So,
Absolutely. I got a tough one for you. Basically, what was your aha moment? Like your inspiration to make you take this, to make you want to take the steps to transition? What inspired you to do this?
Well, I always felt like a boy when I was like with a girl, I'm like, man, I want to be her boyfriend. Like, I don't feel like a lesbian, but I hung out with the lesbian community and stuff and never really identified that way. But I had first seen, I'd always heard of transvestites, transsexuals, but I always thought, I think what most people think like of just, a cross-dresser, I'm this young, naive 15-year-old. And then I saw Brandon Tina's story, Boys Don't Cry, when I was 16. I was like, and I didn't connect that, there was the real life test at the time and, all the things you had to do. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll do that, like somehow convince people I'm a boy. Like I had no idea you could actually do this. So I don't even think I really knew or was aware that he was a transsexual, just like, oh, he feels like a boy and he just lives it. So, I was like, oh, that was kind of a rough period. And then college, I was dating this girl and she actually had a friend that was an FTM, and I was kind of doing some stalking online, and I found his live journal, and there was a community, and it was FTM, and I went and looked, and I was like, that's me. I saw a guy, he had posted his pre-T, and then 1 year, and I was like, oh my God, I'm not a lesbian. And then, it was like so quick, like within a year, I was already, 6 months on T, and then having like top surgery 6 months later. So it was just, oh, that's me. I knew it. It was like, that's the solution. I saw it when I was like just about to turn 21, and then I started T like 4 months later. It was just, I got into the therapist. I was like, I got to do this. This is it, because being a lesbian never felt right. But once I saw that live German community, so that's, speaks again to the benefit of the online communities. If I had never seen that, like, I don't even know when I would have, maybe I would have seen it on Oprah one day and been like, So I don't know. Yeah. It's good to creep sometimes on people's laughter. No, I don't know. But yeah, so that's how I found out. And then I just knew that was it. And I went to the psychiatrist. I was like, look, this is what I'm doing, and I'm going to live as male for 3 months, get my letter and do it. So it wasn't, it was a total aha moment. Like, oh my gosh, yes. And then life came together. So,
yeah, that's pretty much what happened to me. It was like, I didn't hear about anything until I went to Key West in 2003, and I was into female bodybuilding, and someone said, are you an FTM? And I was, an FT who?
What's that?
What's that? And I went back and I did my research, and all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, there's a name for how I felt all my life. And from then on, I got the ball rolling. Yeah. Let me ask you this. Has your family been supportive of your transition?
They are now. They were not at first at all. I've been on T for 7 years now, a little over 7 years. About the first 3 were like really rough, like still calling me my birth name. They just, we still talk. We still had a good relationship, but it was like I would have to hear that when we go out. I, was dating women, and they'd call me that name in front of them, call me she, and they only knew me as male. It was so like awkward. Like, no, why do you do that? But after I had my chest surgery, I think my mom started to realize, like, okay, like maybe this is real, not just a stage or something, and maybe I should, kind of play along at least. And then, they've come around. My dad has also always been a little bit more laid back about it, but because my mom has been a little less, vocal. But I can always tell he kind of was like, all right, I see this is cool. But I think it just took proving that, this was not a crazy thing, that I was still gonna do okay and graduate college, live my life and not be this depressed person that I was. So, it took a lot of talking, but we have a good relationship now. They obviously call me Charles and stuff. I'm Charles to my brother, and my huge, large Arabic family. They're all cool. So that's really awesome. So it's taken a while, but that's what I always tell people. It's time, and talking and just letting them see you and that it's okay, because I can't imagine as a parent what it's like to, your child's like, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm 20 and I'm going to start these male hormones. They're like, what? So.
It's very difficult for the family. We forget that when we're so into ourselves, and how dare they not use the right pronouns, and how dare they not this, and it's
right, yeah.
We think that it's going to be easy for them, and it's not. It's a healing process, something they have to get used to, and eventually they will. Some take a little longer than others, but it's about being patient with them and understanding them, and not just thinking all about us.
Right, and that's hard when you're in that stage and you finally have found the answer and everything is transition, but it's like, no, everyone transitions, at the same time. Your parents are transitioning with you, your friends, the person you're in a relationship with. So, also they maybe have not been aware of how you felt your whole life, and this is like news to them. So, it takes some time, and it's hard to remember that, especially when you're a naive little 21-year-old. It's just like, instant gratification, gonna get on T, and they're just like, oh my God.
Yeah, we want to go from 0 to 60 and forget about anything else and everybody else around us.
Right.
One day I'm this, the next day, hey, look at me.
Yeah, your mom's going, what?
Yeah.
Wait, I had a daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Absolutely. So how did you handle your dysphoria, and what coping mechanisms did you use?
Well, like things like vlogging, really, I vlogged a ton, very personally, really just open, and it helped to get feedback, and also, a lot of kind of painful feedback, and that kind of taught me some things. But it's therapeutic, to get it out. I always say get it out, whether it's writing or singing, or I play a lot of music. I do that, or physically, like especially on T, I have a lot of energy I just need to burn off, so I skate a lot and bike and just try to keep fit, eat healthy, and just. It was so hard at first, when you're first transitioning, the dysphoria is so hard, but just getting older, I realized there's other important things to focus on besides, this surgery or that surgery, even though, it's there, but, and just, I don't know, just, because if I think about it, I can get really upset, but just trying to think of the, the benefits of being trans kind of outweigh whatever, like just dealing with people, like with women, like I have this insight that maybe some other people don't. So I try to look at, like the good things, or I can appreciate things maybe one that is cisgender can, not ever understand. So I try to tell myself that, like, there's a spiritual, emotional aspect that, the dysphoria is hard, but I just try to, you gotta just, I don't know, try to think positive. But, I've been in lots of deep depressions too. So, it's staying connected to just reaching out, saying like, hey, I feel bad. And that's hard sometimes, to be like this 7 years into T, being like, I don't feel good. I don't feel totally great today. So it's, getting it out.
Well, now that you look back on it, do you feel that this was a disorder, that this was actually, that there was, that do you feel now dysphoric about anything?
I mean, I do experience dysphoria now, but I don't think it's a disorder that gender variant people have. I'm so glad of that decision to get us out of the DSM. It's gender dysphoria, and I experience it so little now, but I'm kind of getting lost here in thought. But I don't think it's a disorder. It's there. Humanity is just so varied and whatnot, and we're just like a bump in the spectrum, and gender variants. I think we're at the beginning of this movement, this phenomenon, and we're going to see a lot of different kinds of people and flavors of the rainbow. So I think this is just the beginning, and no, I don't think we have a disorder. I mean, it's real. It's, you know.
To me, it's an evolution of mankind, and I believe we're a gift.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know, once you evolved, and once you get past the pain, the suffering, and just really start understanding what it's all about, then you heal. Then you're able to really look at it as a blessing and not a curse.
Yeah,
If
I
had
totally
to do it
agree.
all
That's kind of
over
the stage I've
again,
been
I would.
in. So, yeah.
Yeah, I would do it all over again in a heartbeat because it's been an
Absolutely.
amazing journey. It has given me insight that no
Yeah.
cis male will ever have.
Right, right.
Giving you
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
hair than most cis men out there.
Well, but that's, you know, it's to me it's a blessing, and I know a lot of people don't see it that way because they're still very early on their transition, and they're all about
Right.
tunnel vision. I need this, I need that, and they're, how dare you talk?
Right.
You got your surgeries, but it's
Right, and how many facial hairs, and you're just focusing on the physical and not realizing there's
Yeah.
so much more to it. Yeah, yeah.
a lot more to it. So the
Yeah.
day of your surgery must have been one of the most happiest day of your life. How did that feel?
Oh, it was, you know, I get just choked up thinking about it. Like, I've been kind of editing kind of a surgery video lately and just kind of looking at all that footage, and it's just so amazing to see, like, me look down and just see it flat for the first time. It was definitely just, I don't know, just a very significant day of my life, just waking up and just literally having that off my chest, you know. It just, and it was more significant to me than I thought, because I honestly didn't have a lot of top dysphoria. Like, my dysphoria has always been more focused on my bottom, like, lower area. But it was just so freeing and relieving, and just really helped me just develop as a person, just really be able to kind of like live in my body and really like live as male and just feel comfortable and just be able to just do things I never did, and just, you know, I don't know, just really, you know, just be free. It's just, it's like I don't even have to think about it anymore. And I can understand how guys that have to bind for years are upset and how that's the tunnel vision. But, you know, I feel blessed to have been able to do it when I did. But it was really, so like almost even more than tea, like it just really helped me kind of go into myself. And I didn't expect that. I thought, like, okay, yeah, because they bothered me, but not to a really focused point. But yeah, it was awesome. I just, you know, just take flight. That, you know,
Very freeing.
Good day.
Totally freeing experience. I mean, I remember I had both my hysterectomy and mastectomy at the same time. And when I woke up from the anesthesia, it was 7-hour long surgery. The first thing I went like this, and to feel it flat, even though I was in pain from, you know, imagine both mastectomy and hysterectomy at the same time. I'm like, first of all, am I alive? Okay, good.
Right,
And
right,
he's
yeah,
gone,
yeah.
great.
Fair enough, yeah.
Where am I?
Right.
But it is freeing, and I understand how a lot of trans guys become angry, depressed because of it. But I guess what we're trying to say here is, you know, take it one day at a time. You have to focus on the now and try to do the best you can until you get there, because, you know, sometimes people get their surgeries and they're still upset and they're still depressed. I mean, it's not a magic pill where all of a sudden all the stuff is gone and you're like, I'm happy and gay, and you know, it doesn't happen
I think
that way.
that's a view people have. Like, you go and you have surgery, you're all good, you don't deal with things again. Like, now I deal with almost more complex issues, you know, rather than just like, when's my next doctor's appointment? When do I get a shot? And, you know, like, it's kind of cliche, but it's not the, you know, it's the journey that counts, not the, you know, getting to that end point. And I realized sometimes I was like, man, I wish I had savored it more and didn't, you know, just like, boom, get on T, have surgery, blah, blah. Because, you know, it does happen so fast, and it's so like crazy to just look back on, you know. So yeah, just like enjoy where you are, even if it's you're getting misgendered every day. It's so whatever, but just think, like, you know, I don't know, it's just an amazing social experience, and what you're doing is valid, you know. And just, I don't know, I wish I had known that as early on, you know, just when it was just, you know, I don't know, like, I just want to be shirtless at the beach, you know. I couldn't see beyond, like, okay, maybe some people need time to adjust to this, you know, I don't know, like your mom, you know. So
definitely. Well, here's a short clip you made when you first wore a shirt without a binder. I think you were like 1 week into your surgery, after your surgery. So
yeah, that was definitely a good day. I was actually just editing that clip into a video last night. I was just like, wow, you know, like, it's the little moments, like maybe cisgender people would never think, like, just to think of what a shirt feels like on your chest for the first time. You know, it was just like, wow, you know, I waited 22 years for this. So yeah, and those little moments just are the big ones, really, you know, like that almost more than the surgery. And, you know, it's just like, oh wow, getting to do this, you know, it's just flat. Like, oh, there's cotton, there's not these things, you know, it's me. So yeah, that was
okay.
Yeah.
So whenever you're ready, Joe, you can show that clip.
Okay, hey, hon.
Hi. Well, there's a moment I've been waiting for 22 years. That moment is to wear a shirt the field against my flat chest. I had surgery a week ago today. Well, actually, now a week and a day ago because it's 12. And just supposed to be wearing a binder, but I had to do this.
How does that feel?
Like a guy.
Oh.
Oh my god. There's no binder. Oh. These are my lips. It's still swollen, so you can't. It feels like these weird tensons.
Oops.
It's the most amazing feeling in the world. They're not like this, and they're not hitting against my shirt. It's just falling against me. For the first time.
It must feel good to not have a binder in between you and your body.
Sure is. Yeah, it's like an armor, you know? Got to protect this body that wasn't right. But now there's no armor because it's free.
That's definitely an amazing feeling. I remember when I had my surgery, my biggest fear were that my nipple graft was going to fall off. I don't know if that happened to you. I was like, they're still there. Okay, good. You know.
Is this like a common fear, like embedded into the trans man psyche? Because I was talking to a friend that just got a surgery last week, and he was like, I worry my nipples are going to fall off, or, you know, they're underneath my armpits. Like, it's just so funny. I'm like, where are my nipples? You know, so.
That's like the biggest fear when they started like really crusting up and whatever,
Right.
and they were like, oh my God, are they going to fall off? Oh no.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was
just
like, you know.
or just
big
take one to
fear.
move, like, oh, it just shifted against, you know, the dressings, and I'm like, oh, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's like then putting on the neosporin or whatever. I don't remember back then. Sorry,
Right.
I don't remember what it was back then, but it was just. And when they finally healed and they were there and like, okay, they ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, you're like, you're good, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, these are things that people don't really. I mean, cisgender people don't even realize what we go through. It's
Absolutely.
It's first the pain. I mean, to undergo the surgeries that we go under, and the money we have to spend, and just the whole fear factor, and it's a crazy thing. And,
Well, I can definitely, you know, what's that word I'm looking for? Shoot.
can't help you
moment.
there. Can't help you there.
I could definitely relate. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Because me, it was just the opposite. You know, with the hormones, once I started seeing the breast growing, and I'm like, oh,
Right.
hey, yeah.
Yeah.
Time to wear a bra. And then it's like, okay, now I have to wear a bra every day. God, I hate this shit. You know?
Right? You have to do the grind, like, oh, yeah.
It's how funny. It's like we want to get rid of them. They want to have them on them. It's
I know.
like, you know, never
Like-
happy. You know,
Like I
what
said,
we're-
we should all be like Mr. and Mrs. Potato
Potato
Head.
Head, here.
Oh my God.
Take mine.
I know, we need like a trans guy, trans girl exchange program. You know, I lived with
Yeah, sure, there you
out in San Francisco, and we were always like, when we have a bad trans day, we were like, why don't we just train? Like, you know, we'll work out a little trade here. You know, like it just, you know, it medicine maybe we'll get there one day. But yeah, it's just it was also an amazing experience to live with a trans woman and just to get that, you know, insight into her life and just how people treat her and what hormones do to her, and just, you know, it's like, wow, this is crazy, you know, just this whole, I don't know, experience. So, yeah, we want to get them cut off, we want them put on, or to grow them, whatever, you know, like we all want boob jobs, chop, or, you know, I don't know.
Chop, add, glue,
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly. Just, you know, go to the factory, get it done, be happy, get off your, you know.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Right.
Well, you lived in San Francisco for a while. How did that change your life?
That that was like where I came of age. Like, you know, I didn't have to, I could put the gender stuff behind me. I could go to a place where no one knew me. I only had, you know, friends that were queer and trans themselves, or just, you know, it wasn't even a thing. Like, even when I tell people here or whatever, you know, it's so sensational, or they're like, so you're a woman, or, you know, I don't know. And it's just so different. And I got to really explore myself as a male, and not just as like, you know, this trans person or the token trans person in the group, or the guy from high school that used to be a girl, you know. And it was really great, you know, like I just kind of developed myself, you know, just more, I don't know, just in my politics and, you know, I don't know, just my whole lifestyle and just views and things. It was just a really great place to be. And I don't know, my time there is just so special to me. And I wish I could go back, but you know, Portland is the kind of the cheaper version of San Francisco right now. So, yeah, but I don't know. It definitely, going from Jacksonville, Florida, where it's like, you know, being gay or trans is just, I don't even know. And then to San Francisco, where it's like, you know, the queer mecca, it was just insane, you know, just to see trans guys everywhere, or, you know, just gay people. Like, I could count on one hand how many gay people I see in a month here, you know, like, just now. It's like, oh, there's, oh, another person, you know. But, and that was, it really helped, because I was having a real hard time here and just feeling really isolated, you know, like, okay, I'm the only person knowing what I'm going through, no one gets it. And then going there and just having like a great group of trans guy friends, it really just kind of helped heal. And I had another friend that moved out from the South around the same time, and we called it like our queer healing bubble, you know, just like, oh, like, it's okay to be trans, like, no one bats an eye. So it was nice to just kind of have it be like, no, you're not some weirdo, you know, that, I don't know, just some science experiment or, you know, some novelty. It was just like, you're a normal person with a very cool, diverse experience and view of the world. So, yeah. There, it, like, being trans it's a richer experience. Like, here I've been denied jobs because they found out I was trans, and I vlogged on YouTube. Oh no, you know. So here it takes away. There I felt it added, and I think that really helped me as a person. Just like be like, no, I don't have to be like male and want to be like a cis guy, and, you know, have to have, you know, lower surgery and do all this stuff and be just like a straight man. Like, no, I can embrace who I am, and that could be an awesome thing. So yeah.
I definitely saw the change, because when I started watching your YouTube channel, you were still in Jacksonville, and I saw the change in you when you moved to San Francisco. I mean, you were a totally different person. You were happier.
Yeah.
You weren't as nervous. You were making a lot of friends. You were vlogging with different bro friends of yours. Or you had somebody called Bro Love or something of that nature.
Brosif, Bro Love, Bromance.
Yeah, bromance and all that stuff. And that brings me to my next question. Has your sexuality changed you through the years after being on hormones and feeling comfortable with yourself?
It totally has. And I'm starting to wonder, like, if it maybe has always just been there. And I'm like, as, you know, growing up as female and going to a Catholic high school, I tried my best to be straight, you know, dated a guy for 2 years. And finally, my senior year, I was like, I can't tonight. I like girls. I'm sorry. You know, like, you were just my cover up. But I think I was always aware that I was maybe emotionally attracted to men. But, like, straight men here are more of the, you know, I don't know, not my type. Like, I don't want to stereotype, but, you know, like jocks, or just more, I don't know, just not into things I'm into. You know, not your artsy, nerdy, whatever guys. And then San Francisco, you know, even just non-trans guys, like just cis dudes were just like cool. And, you know, like, I don't know, it just, like, I'm having a blonde moment, even though I'm brunette.
It's catchy. Jessica rubs on people,
I'm like,
and then they all start having blonde moments.
Yeah.
My hair is really blonde, actually. I dyed this, so, you know.
I'm giving Mark some of my mojo.
No,
He's
it's
gonna
okay.
have a few blonde
No, I
moments before the
won't.
end of the day.
No, because I have the blonde guard.
The
Blonde card, mine, but
Blonde guard.
blonde card, whatever. I'm gonna dye my. You know what? Next week, I think I'm gonna come on the air and I'm gonna have black hair.
Oh, you're right.
Black
You'll never
hair.
get rid of your blonde hair.
That's a good idea.
Getting back on track with the sexuality question, I think a lot of trans guys, we kind of suppressed the whole thing of liking men because we didn't like men to be groping at us or all that, you know, how stuff. Right. And once we transitioned and we felt comfortable with ourselves, then it was like, okay, I could dig this. I like this.
Yes.
They're hot.
No, back on track. It was like, you know, as a girl, I would have to be approached by straight men and, like, you know, and be treated like however they treated women or whatever. And, you know, going to San Francisco and just walking around the Castro, and I'm like, I'm getting checked out. Like, at first I'm like, you know, like, why are they all making eye contact? Like, you know, here that would mean like, you know, kind of like, get out of my way, I want to fight, like, you have a problem there? They're like, what's up, you know? And I'm like, ooh, you know, I'm like, I kind of like that, like, you know, gay men are checking me out. And then I was like, And then I'm like, wait, I like gay men, you know, like, I don't want to date straight men. Like, oh, like, this is more natural, like, not being a heterosexual female with a heterosexual male, but being a gay male with a guy. But like, I still am very attracted to women, but I'm just like open to anything, you know. After you transition, it's like people are people. Like, you know, I've dated a trans woman. I've always dated women, really, but I am very attracted to trans men. I think that was also kind of my bridge to men. And like you said, like, guys, I think we kind of have this like, oh, cis guys, like, we're kind of afraid to like them, or maybe it's, you know, jealousy or afraid of, you know, their parts that we so badly want and they've always had. But now I'm like, no, you know, a lot of gay guys are cool with it. And, you know, it's like, okay, no, this is cool. And yeah, it's more natural now. I'm like, oh, like, okay, I've always like, but it makes more sense to be a gay man and not, you know, with a straight guy as a girl. So yeah, it just makes more sense. So.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Well, you are also a musician. How many instruments do you play, and have you written any songs trans-related?
I don't know how many instruments I play. My mom started me out on like piano when I was about 8, and then I was a nerd and did band and like started out on trombone, and then, you know, was like, okay, done with that. Then you know, like moved on to the next thing, like trumpet, then baritone, and learned all the brass. And I just really loved music. I was always playing a lot of music, and taught myself guitar and bass, and was most serious about percussion. You know, I was in like the Jacksonville Youth Symphony and stuff. And I don't know, if you give me anything, if you give me like 10 minutes, I could probably play it. I'd say probably play about 20 instruments. I don't know. But that kind of trans version of Lady Gaga, my friend and I were just jamming one day, and then I was like, oh, I should, you know, maybe write down some stuff. I haven't like really I've written more like music, like more symphonic, like, I don't know, I was kind of doing like a concept album of what it's like to be trans. And, you know, it starts out real just kind of crashing cymbals, and, you know, I don't know, like, it's when you're really whatever, and then it gets kind of smoother as you go. And I have some of the clips on my SoundCloud. I can put in the links here, but I haven't written any like, you know, songs with lyrics. But I'm, you know, I think I want to get back more into music, because since I've been home, I've had access to all my stuff, and I'm like, no, music, I need to get back there. So, you know,
I think I have like 5 songs that I wrote trans-related, 5 or 6, which I thought it was like my way of healing, you know, and giving to the community. So, and definitely, but
definitely. Well, speaking of the Lady Gaga remix, here is a remix she did from one of Lady Gaga's songs, "Born This Way."
It's Saturday afternoon, 1:30 East Coast time, and a lot of people have been asking me for the lyrics to the Born This Way trans version that I did with Darren. That night, I actually was just making it up as I went along and thought it was kind of fun. I was just kind of singing nonsense. But since then, I've written down some stuff, you know, some lyrics, and this is what I have so far. If you like it, maybe I'll try to do the whole thing. So this is my trans boy version of Lady Gaga's Born This Way. My mama told me when I was young, I had to be a little girl. I shrugged my shoulders, put my tea cream on, and said I don't fit in your world. There's nothing wrong with loving your body, 'cause you're gender perfect, babe. Just hold your head up and you'll go far. There's no need to feel that shame. I'm beautiful in my way, 'cause God makes no mistakes. I am a trans boy, baby, I was born this way. Don't have those scars on your chest, 'cause trans guys are the best. I am a trans boy, baby, I was born to be brave. Don't be a hater, don't be obscene, don't drag down your own community. You got to be brothers, you got to be friends, you got to stick together till the end. Mama told me when I was young, I had to be a little girl. Shrugged my shoulders, put my tea cream on, and said I don't fit in your world. There's nothing wrong with loving your body, 'cause you're gender perfect, babe. Just hold your head up and you'll go far. There's no need to feel that shame. I'm beautiful in my way, 'cause God makes no mistakes. I am a trans boy, baby, I was born this way. Don't hide those scars on your chest, 'cause trans guys are the best. I am a trans boy, baby, I was born to be brave. Don't be a hater, don't be obscene, don't drag down your own community. You got to be brothers, you got to be friends, you got to stick together till the end.
That was nice.
That was good.
Very, very nice. There are many trans guys who have lots of questions regarding hormones. What advice do you have for them, and how has T changed your life?
Well, I would say don't rush into anything, be sure, there's nothing worse than like following someone for a while, then 6 months in, he's like, I'm not sure. And because it's such a huge thing, and it changes you, not only physically, but like mentally. And I'm such a different person, and there are some things I miss about my own brain or what have you, but definitely the benefits outweigh just things, whatever, just, I don't know. But testosterone has definitely allowed me to be seen as I feel inside. So it's made me more visible, to the world. And so, when I just go through my daily business at the grocery store, whatever, it's not that like, oh God, am I going to get sir or ma'am today? And, they're going to have to look at my ID and see my old name. And so it kind of takes away that kind of everyday anxiety and just, so, and you get to be seen as yourself. And that also comes with, there's always a caveat. It's like, I get seen as just some straight dude, by women that's gonna, hurt her and lie to her, treat her just like every whatever, or, I'm just some guy that, whatever. So that was really shocking to me when I started. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm so happy about my facial hair, but like, why do all these girls just think I'm a jerk just because I'm a dude? So that socially, it's really interesting. Like in F to M's, work so fast, you're passing so quickly, it can get overwhelming. And I've even seen videos lately where guys were like, whoa, that was so fast. Like, I wish my puberty could, not be in just 1 year, because it's a lot. And you're going through a lot of mental and emotional and, physical changes. And it can be a lot to deal with. But, the after effects, you're seen, and, you can just kind of live your life. So that's a really nice thing. So, and I don't know, and just not concentrate too much on the physical, because I always was aware of the, mental, emotional aspect, not as much as I am now, but I always was kind of like checking in how I'm feeling, and always, documenting my brain changes, just writing them down, like, this is interesting. Like, I'm accessing information totally differently. Like, I don't know. And it can be overwhelming and almost scary. Like, why is my brain not working? Then I realized, like, I have to learn to work it on T. So I don't know. It's not just getting, facial hair and whatever else. So I don't know. Just really make sure you're ready, because, if you can always get on T. T can always wait a little bit. If you waited 20-something years, 40-something years, you can take that few months to really be sure, or a year, or 3 years. Like, I think sometimes there's that pressure to just transition and do it all, and that can be really like overwhelming. So just take your time with it. It's not a race. It's not, enjoy the journey. It's a beautiful thing. Each stage I look back, I'm like, wow, that was a great time, even though it might have been so hard. And transition just kind of like gradients. You keep little steps. I would just keep in mind just these little steps. So that's what I would say.
Somebody on the chat room said, well, you do pass pretty well. Honestly, didn't think that FTMs could grow facial hair. Oh yeah, we could grow plenty of hair, facial hair, chest hair, butt hair, back hair. Yeah, name it.
I mean, we lose our heads,
hair everywhere except for up here.
Butts,
I lost it all up there, and it all migrated to the rest of the body.
Right, exactly. Like,
and I lost all my hair. Except for up here, thank God.
And someone says, I want to go on a date with him. Okay, identify yourself, viewer 5996. Oh, and Ryan K says, I do too. So
I've got 2 dates lined up.
Wow.
Yeah, I have all the dates lined up. See?
Hey.
Paid off to do Transition Radio TV show.
I think we got a new thing going up here.
We got a great
hookup.
You could like have a trans connection.
Trans connection.
Charles Asher, he's a 28-year-old man. And then whatever. Auction us off. Oh, I only get 2 dates? No, I'm just kidding.
There you go. That could be the next thing.
That could be the next thing.
Trans connection.
matchmaker.
Trans love connection.
Yep.
There we go.
Yep. I see
Gonna
it
go
now.
big with this.
Absolutely.
You know, I know that injecting is a very fearful thing for many trans guys. Many trans guys take a long time before they self-inject. They go to the doctor's office every week to get it done. We have a video clip here of you self-injecting, and we wanted to share it with the viewers.
Good morning. It's February 28th, 2012 at 9:53 in the morning. As you can see, I put on a little winter weight. Got to get that down. Really inspired by all you guys that work out a lot, but it's time to get my shot. That was an 1.5 long needle. I don't generally inject with an 1.5, but just had it. And it wasn't that terrible. Usually I can just use an 1 long. But that's it. Yay, T.
Ouch.
Yeah. And you know
I mean,
what?
I open a pill canister, I pop a pill, and I let it dissolve, and I'm good.
And
You
it's
guys
Yeah,
don't
it's like
like
taking
from
Tylenol.
that.
Yeah, I was not
After
too
10
keen on
years.
injecting. Like I actually started on cream, and because I was like, I'm not doing needles. And for my 6-month mark, I was like, I'm gonna do my first self-injection. About 4 months, I switched over and just had the woman I was dating at the time inject me because I was like, I don't do all that. But yeah, I would love to take a pill, but apparently testosterone is not good on the liver. But yeah, it's definitely not fun. I don't know.
And you know
how
what?
I want to do
After
this
10
every
years, it
week.
doesn't get any easier. I hate it every week. And, you know,
Yeah,
it's like
oh.
where I'm getting my meds now, they gave me the wrong needles, and they're like really thick, 22. And every time I pull out, I bleed. Because this thing is so thick, and it's like, oh my God. You know, and it's like no matter where I do it, in my butt, in my thigh, in my arms, because I've been injecting for 10 years. So I've got to
Right.
find rotation, or else, I mean, I would have abscesses that big.
He's
But
like,
it
oh
just-
God, this brings back terrible memories.
You know, it's like, oh, I can't. Yeah, it's like one time I bled so much, I was like, it looks like I'm having a period here. With a,
Oh, God.
Yeah, it wasn't fun, but it doesn't.
I've never
get
got like the fountain, you know, like when someone hits a vein, like all my friends seem to get this,
I
like,
know.
They're like, it was like blood shooting out. I was like, I'd pass out.
I know, and you're hoping that okay, that's as careful as you are, but it's you know,
Right.
after you figure after 10 years you'd be perfected in doing the thing, but no, it just
Oh God.
doesn't get any easier. Trust me.
That's the downsides of injecting hormones. Ow.
Yeah, let's see what else I have here. I hope. Somebody said, I hope I didn't sound too stupid here. I run an LGBT discussion group on Facebook and have only just started to get to know some FTMs. And let's say, that a man I could cry, cis men actually can relate on a different level. Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Well, Charles, you are moving again. It seems you have embarked on several of these moves. Why Oregon? And do you miss San Francisco?
I miss San Francisco every day, but I had a bad breakup. It's part of the reason I came back to Florida. And, you know, it's kind of left me a little disillusioned with the city in some ways. No, but I love San Francisco, and I'll be back there this summer and stuff. But to visit for a while and stuff. But when I first moved out in 2008, I was really deciding between Portland and San Francisco. I liked them both. I wanted SF, but like most people, it's cost prohibitive. So I found as cheap as I could place. Like $1,000 a month is cheap. But I really liked both cities, but I was like, I got to do San Francisco. I just love this city and whatnot. And my best friend is in Portland. I'm actually going to be living with him. He is one of the anonymous commenters wanting to go on a date with me. But it's really cool. We had our surgeries done together, and now we're going to be living in a house together. So it'll be awesome. There's a really good FTM community in Portland, and it's just a really cool city. And, I just like what it's about, like a lot of psychoculture and just some cool stuff. And I got into a program at Portland State, so hopefully I'll be doing some grad school soon, get back into school mode. So
sounds exciting.
Portland's the new San Francisco,
Yeah, I know. It's just San Francisco is so expensive to live.
It really is, yeah. It's a great city, but it just is so expensive.
I would love to.
Well, Florida's not getting much better.
No, but San Francisco is
expensive.
way
It's
more.
expensive
Yeah,
stuff, isn't it?
yeah, it is.
Case in point, wherever you go and it's a tourist trap, forget
Yeah.
about it. You're going to pay out the wazoo.
Yeah. I like where we're at right now. We live in Wilton Manors, which is very.
So.
Go ahead.
Right.
We live in Wilton Manors, which is a very gay neighborhood, and which is really cool, and it's very trans friendly, and we like it. But I would love to live in San Francisco.
So that is a nice community down there. Like, I have some friends that live down in there, and it is cool. It's like, that little small enclave in Florida. But no, San Francisco's awesome. It's a great, huge community. But like any community, there's lots of problems when you have lots of people. Like here, there's not really much of a community to speak of. So, so-and-so doesn't like so-and-so. It just, I don't know, it's interesting, the kind of politics of the community of San Francisco. But yeah, definitely awesome to live in a place just, with the whole LGBTQ spectrum.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's nice to have that South Florida.
I had a girlfriend in the past who had family in Jacksonville, and it was very boring. We used to go up there.
It is extremely boring. It has so much potential. It's a nice city, with the river and the beach, but it's just so conservative, and I don't know. Like my friend last night, we were joking. I've seen him for the last time. He's like, dude, all the cool people moved to the West Coast or wherever else. I was like, I know, man. So I don't know. They're trying, but yeah. And just, after you've grown up in a place and gone to high school, like being trans, you hear your old name or do you know so-and-so. It's just like, it's nice to be in a place where your past is not always there, like in kind of a biting way, like, I've got to deal with that priest that, gave me confirmation. Now he's like, I don't know, just weird things. So just situations I don't have to deal with, those awkward trans situations we won't get into.
Somebody wrote on the chat, Charles and I were talking about Asperger's. Is there a study on Asperger's and trans feelings? Definitely. I actually did, because I have Asperger's, and I started doing a little research, and it's very trans related, and I think something to do with the hormonal bathing that takes place when we're in utero. Part of the trans thing, I think, also brings on that Asperger's, the having problems giving people eye contact, having problems socializing, hearing when somebody says something, we become overly sensitive and withdrawn.
Right.
We're very into OCD behavior and rhythmic behavior and things like that, and it makes it very difficult to have a relationship.
Yes, and I think she kind of compounds that because I'm actually lightly on the Asperger's spectrum. And I was talking to a friend who stayed with me for about 2 weeks in San Francisco when he got his surgery with Brownstein. And he, has it a little bit worse, but we were also kind of helping each other and talking. I was kind of helping him with some social situations and stuff. And I was like, dude, the longer you're on T, you feel less connected from the world and just, I don't know, like, I just feel like less sympathetic, less patient with people. And just, I've seen that, like testosterone brings out kind of I forget the word. I'm having a blown moment again, but just like characteristics like ADHD. Like I read about guys getting diagnosed with that after like being time on T and stuff. Just things that kids in puberty going, through male puberty would, that kind of hormones would bring on. So that's kind of interesting. And there are so many trans guys with Asperger's. So many have connected with me, and it's just so interesting. But
I actually want to do a show on that, and I put something out there, trying to get some trans guys together so they could share their stories. and talk about it. And I think that would be very interesting. I think
Well,
it's been overlooked. Yeah, you also.
ADHD
And I think you
as
also
well.
have Asperger's, because there are times that you handle things, and then when both of our Asperger's hit together, it's like World War III, and
Yeah.
it's very difficult. Yeah, it's almost like it makes you want to just be alone, not to be with anybody,
Yeah,
because it's a lot of
and I
hard
do
work.
that a lot. I just kind of retreat. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I might just be bipolar and hormonal.
Yeah, well, hormonal you are very much so, and bipolar definitely. But you know,
You're not supposed to agree with me.
you're like, come on, man.
no, it's the truth, though. I mean, it's
You're not
it's
supposed to
hard.
agree with me on that. That's supposed to say something, babe.
No,
that is not
But
how
no,
that
babe,
works.
no, you don't have any of that.
Oh
Yeah,
no, I'm
thank
sorry.
you.
That's one thing about Asperger's. We can't tell a lie.
No, that's
Too
true.
truthful,
Like I can be
it
pretty
gets
blunt.
us in
I've had to
trouble.
learn to tone that down. Like
Yeah.
when people are, I call people out. Like because I don't mind being called out. Like I want to know if I'm doing something, and people can't handle that. And I don't know. I like to be direct, and but as kind as possible. But yeah, I mean, I'm like, no, I'd rather hear it, and then trying to figure out the nuance of what your face is saying. Like I don't know, like so. Yeah, I'd rather people just be direct with me and be like, hey, man, you're being really annoying right now, or whatever it is. So.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I always
think-
say the truth hurts, but it's the truth, and I'd rather hear it, and I'm going to tell you, and then it may come out wrong, and that's one thing is we don't know how to say things. Or like, oh, I think I just said something very bad.
Right, and then
after
after
it
you
comes
hear
out.
it, you're like, oh, yeah, I can see how
Yeah.
you took that. Wrong.
Open
yeah, I
mouth
did
and
have that.
But it's it is what it is. Anyway, Charles, we've really gone over, although in the beginning it kind of started with a rocky start, but that'll all be edited into the show.
Yes.
We thank you and wish you good luck on your trip to Oregon.
Absolutely.
Keep in touch. If we actually do a show on Asperger's, I'd love to invite you back and maybe have like a little panel. I'll see how we arrange it with Joe. We could have different people on camera and talking about their experience. Maybe they
Come
could
on,
even
10-minute sections at a time.
try to find
Tell
maybe
their story.
a scientist or somebody who actually I saw a study, so I might try to get the person who did the study to come on the show, and I think that would be very interesting.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, well, thanks for having me. It's been awesome talking to you guys.
It was a
Awesome.
pleasure. Thank you, Charles.
Yeah.
It was very nice.
Stay in touch. Don't be a stranger.
All right, yeah, no, definitely. If you're ever in Portland,
Okay.
say hi.
Yeah, definitely. Well,
All
we
right.
love you, Charles.
All
Take
right,
care.
man. Peace.
Have a good day.
We want to thank everybody for the show, and we want to
Yes.
say everyone that tuned in live, sorry for the technical difficulties in the beginning of the show.
What technical
but,
difficulties?
Oh yeah, right. With technical difficulties.
There was no technical difficulties.
No. That's Anyway,
You're not supposed to say that out loud.
Anyway, we thank you, and we hope you join us next week. We have Jenna Fox next week. And
We had her on the radio
We
show.
had her on the radio show in the beginning of the show when I think it was our first show or third show or something.
One of our very
Very interesting transgender female.
First.
I think you guys will like her. And we have many, many very exciting guests in the future, from Jessica Hu to Isis King to Miguel Storm Miguel.
Let's make it easier.
Yeah, ton
Many,
of people.
many more.
Yeah, many more very interesting guests for you guys. And if you guys are ever interested in being on the show, we don't just want the really popular people. We also want ordinary people to tell the story, because I think
Absolutely.
it helps everyone to listen to the real life stories of what we go through and how. And we relate, so it's a beautiful thing. So anyway, no more ragging, blah, blah, blah. We're going to end the show with a song I wrote called You Are the Light, and You're Perfect in Every Way. We love you.
We love you. And
But
always remember to love yourselves too.
Mwah.
Good night.
Good night, folks.
Please help me understand the man. This world we live in is unforsaken land. Are we awake? Are we asleep? Or did we have too much to drink? We don't connect, we don't respect. Is it time to give up yet? It's all about control and domination. The prophets of this world and their damnation. It's all about the world and domination. The prophets of this world and their damnation.
and domination. The prophets of this world and their damnation. It's all about control and domination. The prophets of this world and their damnation. Inside your heart, have you forgotten that we need love to evolve? Are we awake? Are we asleep? Or do we have too much to drink? We don't connect, we don't respect. Is it time to give up yet? It's all about control and domination. The prophets of this world and their damnation. It's all about control and domination. The prophets of this world and their damnation.